Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel, Earth Angel Tarot. And in today's Isis Unveiled reading, we will be taking a look at what it is that you need to heal. Okay. What is it that is causing energetic blockages, whether that is consciously or subconsciously, not allowing you to put your best foot forward. All right. And so these are the three cards that wanted to come out for this reading. So go ahead, take a look, see which one of these images calls out to you the most, and whichever image you feel mostly drawn to, that will be the pile that will have messages in it for you, okay? And as usual, I will put the image up again for a couple of more seconds. That way you can see which one of them resonates with you the most, all right? So happy picking. Hello to those of you who chose pile number one. So this is your image. All right. And the message is the dark mysteries. Okay. And it says the dark goddess calls you to her inner chamber where she holds a test and a gift for you. The test is your willingness to meet and release the fears within that have been secretly holding you back. The gift is freedom, peace, opportunity, and prosperity in all its forms. Will you accept her call? Your time for deeper initiation is here. All right. And this card is so fitting for this reading because if you watch my intro, that's specifically what I said this reading is about. Addressing and acknowledging those things about yourself, whether subconsciously or consciously, that you need to heal because they are holding you back. All right. And this is exactly what this card is saying also. All right. The test is your willingness to meet and release the fears within that have been secretly holding you back. All right. And it specifies secretly. All right. Which makes me feel like this is mostly connected to the subconscious for you guys. Okay. And so that is to say that what you're holding on to, you may have thought that you got rid of it a long time ago. Right. You may have thought that you overcame it, that you, were able to dismiss it and move on, okay, consciously. But there is a piece of it that is still attached to you, okay? It's what I'm getting subconsciously, and it is part of what is holding you back, all right? So this reading is meant to highlight what that is for you, pal number one, so that you can address that issue more on a conscious level. All right. So digging it up. All right. Digging whatever of it is still or has still been lingering within you that you were not aware of, digging it up so that you can finally put an end to it, finally put closure to it. Okay. So we're going to take a look to see what exactly that is. All right. And with this card specifically, I'm feeling like Isis is really coming through with the message in this card. So some of you may work with her already, with it saying that it's time for a deeper initiation. So some of you may have already been working with her. And for those of you who are not working with her or who are a little bit curious about her, this may be a call for you to go a little deeper. Okay. Go a little deeper. So Isis likes to find her children. All right. Isis likes to find her children, the ones who are meant to work with her in this lifetime. All right. So this may be your call to go a little bit deeper in finding her just as she is trying to find you. All right. So that is the message that is coming through right now with this card. But now we're going to go ahead and see what messages we have in regards to what it is, pile number one, that you are meant to heal at this time. All right. And I have already pre-pulled your oracle messages. So we'll go ahead and take a look at those. All right. And so the first card that you all have is healing a lack of agency wound. All right. And the words are really tiny on this card. So I'm just going to pull it forward so that I can read exactly what it says. And it says, will show up as a difficulty making decisions or asserting personal needs stemming from a past where autonomy was denied or controlled. This can manifest as passivity, people pleasing, or a tendency to defer to others even at the expense of one's own well being, often accompanied by feelings of powerlessness. This wound may create a fear of conflict, self doubt, or reliance on others for validation and direction. All right. So, what I'm getting with this message, pal number one, is that you guys have um, always been in someone else's shadow and never quite allowed to um, live in your own light. Um, so you have, just as the card stated, you have, I'm even getting the word belittle, right? You may have been belittled a lot in your lifetime, well, in your childhood, maybe even in teenage years or your teenage stages, right? Where you were in situations where you were made to feel little, all right, not having control over any decisions that were to be made, any choices that were to be made, kind of always being told what to do and not really given that option to think for yourself or think on your own terms or even do on your own terms, but always being told what you can and what you cannot do. All right. So, of course, if this is what you were experiencing a lot, especially in early childhood ages, of course, those type of stigmas are going to stick with you into adulthood, feeling that you are not worthy enough, okay, to make your own decisions, or you are not worthy enough of doing something without it being validated by others. So what I'm getting for this from this pile number one is that you are someone who is constantly seeking approval from others, okay? And it's because growing up you were always, I'm getting like someone who always had to ask permission or always had to make sure something was okay, even if they themselves knew it was something that they wanted and they knew and to them it felt okay, it wasn't fully okay until they got the approval from someone else, okay? Because of being judged in a sense, all right? Because of someone making you feel bad about your choice, right? Maybe I'm shaming you about your decisions or shaming you about your aspirations, just making you feel bad all around, right? And so it kind of boxed you in, okay? It kind of put you in the box. And now it's like in your adulthood, you may be someone who's kind of like always seeking that approval before going forward, all right? So you're being called at this time to heal that wound about yourself, okay? Your spirit team wants you to know that you don't need the validation from anyone here on earth because you have the validation from them, all right. Whatever dreams you have, whatever aspirations you have, whatever on the fly move you want to make because you're feeling spontaneous about it, your spirit team is saying to go for it, all right? They want you to feel bigger and better about yourself, all right? So it is, I feel like this is really a subconscious wound, guys, for you, for pile number one, right? It's like almost like you don't realize that about yourself because you may look at it as because you're seeking the validation and approval for someone from someone, that you're being a good person, right? Because you're not stepping on anyone's toes or you're not going over anyone's head, so you feel as if you're doing a good deed all around, right? But in actuality, pal number one, what you're doing is you're hindering yourself. Okay, you're hindering yourself, and you're not realizing that this is all stemming from wounds. right? You just think it's a part of who you are, but you're not realizing that there's a deep-seated wound as to why you make the decisions that you make and do the things that you do in regards to where you're going in life and how you expect to have that approval or that validation from someone else. All right. So we're going to look at the next message, and I pulled two cards from this deck, and I just wanted to mention that they don't have to necessarily coincide with each other. So one message may resonate with a set of people, and the other may resonate with the other set, or they may both resonate together. All right. So we'll take it how it fits for you. All right. So the second card that you have from this deck is address the wound of broken trust. All right. And the message here is this will show up as difficulty relying on others, fear of betrayal, and a tendency to isolate or push people away. This wound is rooted in past experiences where trust was violated, leaving a lingering fear of being hurt again, and often manifests as an inability to fully open up or believe in the sincerity of others' intentions. All right. Um, there was something similar to this in the previous reading that I did, and I believe it was for PAL 2. So if you watch my previous reading and you chose PAL 2, there may be some similarities in this reading from that one. All right. And I'm picking up a lot from this. That this has a lot to do with someone's childhood, right? Someone who didn't feel safe, right? And someone who was in a household where there was like complete, like, parental control, right? But at the same time, it wasn't safe, right? So it was like you didn't have the freedom to be able to venture out and live life as a child should. Um, and you were always told what you could and could not do, and this it leads up to you now, seeking approval in the things that you do, because you almost feel like if you make the wrong choice that there'll be consequences to it. All right. So that's what I'm picking up, especially with the broken trust. Like you didn't feel safe and secure, right? Coming from some sort of like domineering type of situation or household. All right. And if you didn't do the things that were expected to you, from you, or you weren't making the right choices, there were consequences behind that. And so this is why you're kind of in this place now where you're always, and I do feel like it, like I said earlier, it is subconscious. Like you're subconsciously trying to make choices that not benefit you, but it allows for the approval from others. All right. And it's not that the people who you're doing this with are bad people. It's just that this is stemmed from your own past um, situations, right? That kind of puts you in that mind state of seeking that approval, even though it may be someone who doesn't, even feel like that type of way, that feels like they have to have that type of effect or that type of control over you. To them, it's just like, I don't care. You do whatever you want to do. It doesn't bother or faze me not, right? But it's a part of your inner child that is still going to seek that validation, regardless of how the other person feels about it or not. All right. Um, so this is what you need to and with the broken trust also, this is like the wall is up, and like I feel like this is really like tying into the last reading, pile number 2. The wall is up because of you being in those situations, right, in your past. So you're not fully ready to fully understand, you're not ready to fully realize that there are people out there who are not here and meant to hurt you. right? That's not their intention, and it's not their goal. So but you have to come to a place of understanding within yourself to realize that at the end of the day, it's all about you. Power number one, it's all about you. So making that time and making that place and that space to heal these wounds, and realizing the people who like broke your trust and humanity, so to say, or made you feel little, or that you had no voice or no word in your decisions and your choices, coming to the realization that that was a thing of the past, and you are who you are now, and you're meant to find the spark. Okay, you're meant to find that inner spark and learn to work with it. All right. Oh my gosh, that is so crazy. So the next card you have is parents. And what was I saying? Like, I feel like this had to do with someone's inner someone's childhood experience, right? And I was picking up on like parental type figures or parental type energies. And so this parents card coming up is confirmation. All right. And look how, like, I don't know how well you'll be able to see this image because in the background it is a little blurred, but you can just see how the mother almost has like this discontent look on her face, as if she's disappointed, or she's like scolding her child for maybe a decision or a choice or of something that she did, right? Very looking very disapproving, right? And so this is what this is for you guys. You guys, it's for whoever this is resonating with. You've had this childhood of um, any and everything, possibly everything that you were doing, there being a sense of disapproval around it, right? Nothing was ever good enough, right? And the broken trust is showing up because you expect, children expect for their parents to be their heroes, right? Children expect for their parents to be their heroes. All right. So when they prove otherwise and they do otherwise, it's they break that trust, right? And not just only in their parents, but in people, right? Because children feel like, if my own parent can't be supportive of me, if my own parent can't be happy with me and the choices that I make and who I am, then how can I expect the rest of the world to? Right. So this is where the broken trust is. This is why the broken trust is showing up for you guys. And this is why spirit wants you to, they want you to regain, I'm getting a sense of hope. Give yourself a fresh start, because what you have went through and what you have experienced was not your fault. Your parents, for whoever this is for, your parents had their own battles to fight. Okay, they had their own battles to fight, they had their own life lessons to learn, and we're not aware of it. All right. And it stemmed out into how they were, I'm getting forecasting their own traumas, their own things that they went through onto you. So they want you to break the cycle. All right. They want you to break the cycle. And especially for those of you who are parents also, they want you to break the cycle so as um, to not have these same things that you went through as a child for yourself to be reissued into your relationships with your children. All right. Cycle breaker is what I'm getting. Cycle breaker. And they also want you to be aware that none of that was your fault. All right. It was there in place to help you to learn whatever life lesson you are meant to learn for yourself in this lifetime, and to grow from it. All right. All right. And then you guys have dark reflection. And it says, when you look into the abyss looks back. All right, truth seeking and liberation. Yes, and I love this showing up for you guys, because this is the time and the moment for you guys to really have that reflection. How has these situations that you may have went through in the past, how have they shaped you into who you are now and the things that you do now? Okay, are those things for the better or are they for the worse? And this is like a form of shadow diving. All right. Do you look at your situations that you're living and you're going through now, and you think for a moment and say, man, am I really living in these situations as of now, or from the moment, or am I living off of these situations based off my past? All right. This is going to be something crucial for you to really acknowledge going forward. Like, how am I living in my present life? Am I living from a place of being in the present, or am I living in a place of subconsciously acting on behalf of things that happened to me in my past? And so this is where you're really going to have to do that truth seeking, right? And this is what's going to help you to heal, because you're going to be, just like Spirit is telling me that it's not your fault, you're going to begin to realize that none of that was ever your fault. Your parents' actions, or grandparents, whoever whoever it was, right? Their actions and their own personal perspectives and reflections essentially had nothing to do with you. They were going through their own um, inner. They were fighting their own inner demons, going through their own battles, right? And you just so happened to be a subject at that time that they can deflect it onto. All right. So this is what Spirit wants you to do. They want you to have that moment of reflection to see, so that you can release living from the past and begin to live more in the present and recognize the beauty about yourself. All right. And we have resentment. Okay. And it says it often festers, causing a desire for revenge. Let go of the past to find peace. Yes, this is exactly what I am saying, guys. Forgiveness, release, serenity. Yes, this is like so fitting for the whole essence of this reading. Okay, what are you meant to heal? What are you meant to release? All right. So for some of you guys who are holding on to resentment to your parents, let it go. All right. Let it go. Your spirit team they're really, acknowledging that they really want to highlight the fact that your parents, or whoever, grandparents, whoever was responsible for you as a child, they want you to know that they themselves were going through their own battles. All right. And you just so happen to be in the crossfire of those battles that they were going through. All right. But it has an effect on you now, because it's still lingering. All right. So they want you to forgive and release. All right. Let go of the resentment. Look at the situation actually from more of a compassionate standpoint, where you can actually try to begin, and if you can, you can. If not, totally understandable. But where you could try to envision the healing that your parents may have needed back then that they were not receiving, right? In order for you to kind of empathize with them, all right? Express sympathy with them. And like I say, I don't know anyone's situation. So if it's, you can. If not, it's all still just a healing journey and a process, at the end of the day. But in order for you to heal, fully heal, pile number one is going to be for you to have that dark reflection and to let go of any resentment that you may be harboring towards your parents. Okay, because they may have shaped you into someone who you are not necessarily proud of, but at the same time, it is in place, or it was in place, in order for you to have growth. All right. All right. And then we have where we focus our energy matters. All right. And it says, don't spend time arguing, debating with people who are not supposed to have the same understanding as you. Yes. What I'm getting with this is that this is your battle. You need not explain. You need not go into detail. You need not give any unwarranted energy to anyone. Okay, pile number one. Okay, so the point now, especially with where you focus, your energy matters. This is really saying that the energy right now needs to be on you. Okay, let go of resentment, let go of anger, let go of bitterness, and have this moment of dark, deep reflection for you in order to liberate yourself. All right. And then we have behind every strong person is a story that gave them no choice. Yes. And this is what I was saying. Like, it wasn't your fault, but at the same time, it was meant to build you. All right. And I love, like, with this image showing up here, right? You have, like, if you look at it, it's almost kind of like the stages of growth, right? From child to adulthood. And I was even saying earlier, like, you were in situations or environments where you had no choice, right? And you had no choice. And the you grew up in a, for whoever this resonates with, a very domineering type household, right? Where you didn't have a choice. All right. Your voice didn't matter. Your words weren't heard. All right. And so, as you can see here in this image, like, from childhood into adulthood, right? And it made you who you are today. Right? And so, but look at the word that's also on here: behind every strong person, strong. Okay. So essentially, you are strong. Okay. Strong beyond measures. All right. So this is a time for you to reflect and pull yourself out of that hole. And I'm getting right now, letting go of that resentment is also going to be a major, major key factor for you. Pile number one. All right. So now let's see what tarot messages we have to further confirmate the oracle. So thank you, beautiful, beloved Mother Goddess Isis. Can you please provide for pile number one additional tarot messages? Okay. In regards to what do they need to know in order to heal? All right. So it's time for you, pal number one, to step into your power. All right. Yeah, this is a very subconscious for a lot of you, right? This childhood experience is subconscious for a lot of you, but it's still playing out in your adult life, right? Seeking approval, not feeling good enough, always whatever you're doing needed to be validated, right? Never just being able to wing it on your own and be confident in the choices that you make. All right. And you guys have the Hanged Man. All right. And the Hanged Man is all about allowing yourself that moment of pause in order to have reflection. Look at this right next to the dark reflection. All right. Surrendering. All right. Surrendering to what the universe is putting or is putting in front of you. All right. Trying to make a better understanding of it. Trying to have a sense of enlightenment. All right. Um, and I love this because usually you don't see a reflection on the hangman card, but in this card you can clearly see that from where he's hanging at the bottom is his reflection. All right, and this is coming out right next to the dark reflection card. So this is definitely, guys, having that moment of stillness in order to address the shadow self. All right. Address, like I was saying earlier, like, address and acknowledge how you're living life now. Is it from a place of living in the present, or is it in the place of you're living from the past and not even recognizing it? All right. Nine of Cups. All right. Nine of Cups is wish fulfillment. Nine of Cups is contentment. All right. And then you have the Five of Pentacles. All right. Yeah, so this is with this being in the middle. Yes, guys. Yes, yes, yes. Some of you guys lacked out on childhood happiness. All right. And it has a subconscious effect on you at the moment. All right. And with this Nine of Cups coming in between the Hangman and this Five of Pentacles here, which is the card of lack. And you can also see there's a house here, right? And the girl's laying on the floor outside of the house. And then it's also adjacent to the parents card. So some of you definitely missed out on childhood happiness. All right. And this is what you need to reflect on. All right. And Spirit is saying you can't get those childhood memories or that childhood happiness back now, but you can create it for yourself now. Okay, so you can't get childhood happiness back, but you can create new happy memories for yourself now. All right, it's what I'm getting. And look at this, the Magician. Right when I said that, guys, this reading is aligning so well for you all, right? The Magician, when I just said you can create those new happy memories for yourself now, even though you can't get the ones from the past back, all right? And the Magician shows up for you all. All right. And I feel like this is a magician that's like healed, right? It's like I feel like it's the magician that's healed that did the dark reflection, right? Kind of almost the same scene or scenario in the background. So he did the reflection right here and the hangman, all right, and then he comes down from this place of solitude and reflection, and now he's ready to put into work what he needs to create a better life for himself. All right, so that is a beautiful, guys, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And you guys, I don't usually read the bottom of the card but for some reason I just set them down with the bottom card up, so I was told to look at it. And you guys have the Eight of Wands. All right, so healing this is going to propel you forward, right? Look at all the beautiful colors here, and look how all of this is like, so that the imagery in the background of these places is so dark, and then it's almost like the sun. Look, it's light now, the sun has come up and you see the beautiful rainbow colors. So healing this about yourself, guys, is going to allow for positive forward movement. All right, the sun coming up and you being able to see. Right now I'm getting days. Right now some of you may be in a daze. All right. So lastly, I have pulled an angelic activation message, and this angelic activation message is not only to help you to resonate with these messages from this reading, but also to help activate your own light language, okay, so that you can continue to resonate beyond this point of this reading, but resonate, in your day-to-day by opening up that light language transmission within yourself to receive messages from the universe, messages from your spirit team. All right. And so you guys have this image here, and it is Shamiel, and it says, "Let love in." All right. And the message is, you are beloved. You are cherished more than you'll ever know. It's time to begin seeing yourself through the eyes of God. Choose to move beyond self criticism and judgment. Be open to seeing yourself in a more loving way. When you are willing to see yourself lovingly, you open the doors of your heart, and all forms of love enter it. All right. Yes. Pile number one. Start to see yourself in a more loving way. What you feel matters. What you have to say matters. All right. Put yourself on a pedestal is what I'm getting. And the activation message is, I am willing to see the love I have within. Yes. Time to let that love in that you may have missed out on. Pile number one. It's time for you to see that and recognize that about yourself in order to move forward. All right. So, pile number one, those are the messages I have for you. Really hope you enjoy. If so, please be sure to hit the like button as well as to subscribe to the channel. And until next time, my lovelies, take care and bye bye. Hello to those of you who chose pile number two. So, this is your image. And this image actually came out in my last reading in the same position. So you may be drawn to it again for this reading. Um, or maybe you want to check out the previous reading if you were drawn to this image in this reading, to see if there's any correlations between the two. All right. And the message is the brother in darkness. All right. And it says, whenever negative energy is present, it is a sign that we are ready to move more deeply into our own feminine divine power. You should overcome any negative energy with grace and triumph. Stay in your heart. There is no need to be afraid. All right. And so, yes, with this card, I am picking up that you are meant to triumph. Okay. You are meant to triumph over any negative energy, which is the reason for this reading, to see what it is that you need to heal about yourself. Okay. On an energetic level that may currently be blockages for you. All right. So, transmuting that negative energy into something more positive. All right. Letting go of that overly assertive masculine energy, and allowing space and room for more of a feminine, peaceful energy to come in for you guys. All right. So we're going to now take a look and see what that is for you all and how it is showing up in your life. All right. And I have already pre-pulled your oracle cards. So let's see what we have. So you guys have disconnect between spiritual and social. All right. And the words here are really tiny, so I'm going to have to pull it forward to see. And it says this will show up as a feeling of isolation or alienation from others, as if your spiritual path and social life are out of sync. You may struggle to find like minded people who understand or support your spiritual beliefs, leading to confusion, loneliness, or a sense of not fully belonging in either world. Yes. Um, so you guys, for this pal number 2, I feel like a lot of you are on a spiritual path. Okay. Um, some of you may just now be waking up to the spiritual path, and for others, you may have been on this path for a while. All right, but you, with this card showing up, you guys don't fully have the support I'm getting from, more specifically, like inner circles, right? Family, friends, um, people who are kind of stuck in this 3D way of living, right? And I always like to say, like, they're more stuck in that what you see is what you get. There's nothing more, right? And so it's kind of hard for you to kind of have those type of spiritual conversations, maybe, or spiritual connections with people who don't believe, right? And so this leaves you all questioning yourself. All right. This leaves you all questioning if whether or not what you think you believe in is actually even true, right? Because you may be, the people who don't believe, who's around you, they may be the majority. So you may have like one or two friends or family members who's like willing to listen to, your spiritual dogma, or just your spiritual ideas or spiritual conversations as a whole. You may just have like one or two who's willing to listen to you, but the majority are like, yeah, no. Right? They're like, that's not their cup of tea. That's not their thing. They may not even understand why you're into it or why you show interest in it. All right. So that's leaving some type of, there's a disconnect there. Right. But spirit is saying, don't worry, you're going to find your right circle. All right, you're going to find your right circle. Okay, and like this card here, the brother in darkness says, whenever negative energy is present, it is a sign that we are ready to move more deeper into our feminine divine power. So this is just to say that just because the naysayers are the ones who don't believe what you believe, just because they may be the majority, doesn't mean for you to stop. That just means for you to move more forward and more deeper into what you believe in. Okay. It's not going to be for everyone. is what Spirit's saying. But that does not mean to let it stop you in your tracks. All right. And then we have needing to heal the inner child. All right. And I was going to say, so I pulled two cards from this deck. So they're not necessarily, one card may resonate with a group of people. The second card may resonate with another group of people, or there may be a connection between the two for you. But I was getting with these cards that the messages that are going to be pulled from these cards, one card I feel like it's going to resonate with someone else more than it is going to resonate with another person. So I was kind of like told to like make that clear that both of these cards don't have to connect. All right. So you guys have needing to heal their inner child, and the message is will show up as unresolved emotional pain, unmet needs, or a sense of unlovability from childhood experiences. It may manifest as self sabotage, difficulty trusting others, fear of abandonment, or a deep longing for validation and care that was never fully received. All right. And so Power One had a similar message as far as this validation thing, because I do feel like right now there is a linkage between um, your inner child, like where you feel like why you cling to the people who are, not fully on board with where you're trying to go, especially on the spiritual path. You may still cling to these people or these situations or circumstances due to just like needing that, having that sense of, I'm getting a sense of dependency, right? The sense or the need to feel validated, right? So you have, Spirit is saying you have to be careful with that, because it will put what they have and plan for you, it'll make it null and void, is what I'm getting. All right. So this is why they want you to address um address this sense of being able to stand on your own. All right. Being able to stand on your own and stand in your own power and stand in your own beliefs. All right. Don't let, this is a time for you to be able to learn to transmute those negative energies and pull away from them, ascend away from them. All right. So I'm getting like wake up call. All right. So a wake up call for you to kind of see the linkage between what you currently face now and how it ties into your childhood, right? Why is it socially acceptive for you to stay in a situation that it's not healthy for you? Right? Is it because you were in that situation as a child and you really had no other choice? So they want you to take a look at the bigger picture. All right, because as an inner child, during childhood, you maybe didn't have a voice, but as we go into adult age, we always have a voice. But when you're in your adult age, you can make your voice more clearly heard and known. All right, so you don't have to succumb to situations and circumstances or circles in this time frame. Is what they want you to know. All right, so there is a linkage I feel like between um, you wanting it to be socially accepted to some behaviors or wanting to be accepted as a child. All right, and I'm actually going to do in the next coming weeks heal your inner child reading. So that would be, if this is resonating or relating, with anyone, that would be a good reading to tune into. All right. All right. And then you guys have inadequacy, right? Not feeling good enough, right? Not feeling like you have enough, right? It's like all of this surrounding, him. He has everything coming to him left and right, but he still looks like not satisfied, right? So it's never enough. And Spirit is saying this is how you're going to continue to feel. How number two, you're going to continue to feel inadequate if you stay in the circumstance of not choosing your own path. All right. Look at these. These are like all four different hands of people presenting stuff to him. And I'm thinking about this social circle, right? So this is you, everybody else's beliefs being handed to you, everyone else's thoughts being handed to you, right? And it's not fulfilling because it's inadequate, right? It's not your thing, it's not your calling, right? You have something, and you know what I just got with the song, the glasses here on the table. It makes me think of Clark Kent, right? Superman. So it's like when he has the glasses on, and he's like normal Clark Kent, if I'm saying his name correctly, right? And then without them, he's like, this superhero, right? So this is where you're being called to step into your own superhero power. All right. You're being called to step into your own superhero power and not let your social circle determine, the path that you want to be on. All right. If you have this urge and you have this longest sensation, like, spirit is calling out to you to do something, then that's just what it is. All right. Because otherwise you're gonna feel, you're just gonna be drained, right? You're gonna be drained of your energy, drained of your lust for to do something innovative. Like you're gonna feel drained, you're gonna feel inadequate. All right. And this is why they want you to not pay attention on, the people around you who's not exhibiting, the type of response that you want for them in regards to what you're trying to do spiritually. All right. Like I said earlier, they said that you will find your right group. All right. You will find the right group, pal number two. You will find the right social circle. All right. So it's okay to disconnect or to move forward. All right. They want you to move forward. They want you to go deeper into whatever spiritual practice that you're into right now. Okay. Whatever you're curious about, whatever you want to learn about, whatever that is, they want you to move forward with that. All right. And then you guys have shadow dance. And it says, when you move shadows, you discover your rhythm. All right. And it says fluidity, movement, open. All right. And this is you, pal number two, finding your own rhythm, finding your own rhythm. And I love it when you move shadows. Okay, when you remove those shadows around you, look at the hands here giving out something, the social circle there. When you remove their shadows, okay, of them trying to feed you what's right, or feed you their beliefs, or feed you whatever it is that they uphold to, when you remove that, then you're able to dance to your own rhythm. And this is going to be important for you, spirit is saying, for you to dance to your own rhythm, because that's where you're going to have the fluidity. That's when there's going to be movement. That's when doors are going to open. All right. For those right people to come through, for that right social network to come through, for those right social groups to come through. Right. It's when you learn to move to the beat of your own drum. All right. And then you guys have addiction. And it says compulsive need despite negative consequences. Get support and therapy, healing, liberation, and support. Right. So some of you could be just like, you're used to these circumstances, especially with this being next to the inner child. You're kind of used to these type of energies, right? So like there's always like a group of like, friends, and there's always like the majority of, let's just say, the friend group is bad, and there's always that one good child who knows better, right? Who knows that they shouldn't be doing what they're doing, but because of influence, they're in those situations. All right, they're in those situations of wrong place, wrong time, or just like doing stuff that they know better, right? And so this is like, with this addiction showing up, I feel like it's saying like, you are kind of almost prone to these type of energies that's around you, because it's almost like a comfort zone, right? It's almost like a comfort zone for you, because it could stem from those were similar energies growing up. So energies of people telling you to think a certain way, behave a certain way, and not really giving you your own place for your own voice, right? And so now it's going to be important for you to recognize that, because addiction, it doesn't have to be a substance, right? Some people are addicted to bad behaviors, some people are addicted to bad patterns, right? So this could be just you being addicted to maybe the bad choice of not choosing the right group of friends or the right set of friends, okay? Because you're kind of used to, like I say, that type of energy, and that type of energy may even just be drawn to you. All right. So this is why it's going to be important for you to be able to begin to shadow dance. Why are you why are you attracted or addicted to these type of groups, or these type of people, or these type of situations or circumstances? Shadow dance. Like, what is it from your childhood, inner child, that puts you in this space, or that draws these people, places, or circumstances to you? Okay. Because at the end of the day, it's still not fulfilling. It's inadequate. All right. So it's like, it's not fulfilling and it's inadequate, but yet the situations or the people are still always there. So you being able to get to the point of dancing to your own rhythm, right? Making your own moves, all right? Following the path that spirit is pulling you down. Because I feel like I'm getting that spirit has been trying to get your attention for a while, but there's too many distractions. All right, is what I'm getting. And they're saying that you will never fully feel fulfilled. All right, you're going to continue to have that sense of feeling inadequate, as long as you continue to not follow your own path. All right. And then you have healing yourself can be offensive to people who benefited from your brokenness. Yes, this is like so fitting, right? And this just ties into like how you want to go down one path, right? You're trying to get more in tune with your spiritual self, letting go of just bad thought patterns, or trying to enlighten yourself more, so that you can lighten the load. And then you have those people around you who's just like, oh, so what do you think, you're better than us now because now you're on this spiritual path, and you walking down the holy grail of enlightenment? Yes, this is just like so fitting. And they're like, oh, well, they distract you. They try to distract you with, don't worry about that. Let's go have fun doing Lord knows what, right? But it takes you away from your focus. It takes you away from what spirit, like I say, like I just said that. Like, I feel like they have been trying to get your attention for a while, but you've been distracted, right? And this even says who benefited from your brokenness. Some people, like, they love to see you down because it makes them feel better, right? Some people love to see you down because it makes them feel better. So this is why it's going to be important for you all to be able to find out about yourself, do that shadow dance, and see, like, why do you ask yourself, why do I choose these situations, or why does these situations choose me? Why do I choose these people, or why do these people choose me? So that you can get more of a better understanding, or look at yourself from a place within, right? Well, and understand, and be able to understand what's missing about yourself, what's inadequate about yourself, that spirit has been trying to get your attention to give you the fulfillment that you desire, that you have not been seeing. All right. Well, I'm getting, why are you addicted to these particular inner circles or inner crowds of people? All right. And just because you're trying to heal and you're trying to go down more of a spiritual path, and others may not click with that, right? Because they enjoy living in their shadow, but they see you try to walk into your light, like that is no longer a you problem, is what spirit is saying. That is no longer a you problem. All right. And then you have, if you always think your happiness is somewhere else, It will never be where you are. All right. And this gives me a connection with the adequacy card. Right? Stop looking somewhere else for your happiness. Stop looking for this inner circle or situations, these surrounding situations, for your happiness, because it's still going to leave you feeling inadequate. All right. Uh, the point of that card is to say that you're looking everywhere else for the happiness, not realizing that it's right there where you are. Right? But if you think that it's not where you are, then you will never have fulfillment. So this is why it's important for you to find out your rhythm, what makes you happy. Okay, what fulfills you. You may have, even some of you guys, when this spiritual enlightenment has been like showing itself to you in bits and pieces, some of you may feel already begin to feel the lightness from it, right? Some of you may have had a little spark, as if to say there's a sense of hope, right? It gives you some type of I'm getting like a spark of joy, like it's something there, like you guys sense that it's something there, right? And so this is why it's going to be important for you to go deeper, because that's what's going to pull you away from the shadow. All right, that's what's going to pull you away from the shadow. Yes, I feel like this has a lot to do with like the people that you choose to be around, the people you choose to be with, and it stems from, this is what all you've kind of known. This is what you've known like throughout your life. All right, this is all you've known. So it kind of is a comfort zone to be in situations or around people who don't necessarily use their best judgment, or who don't necessarily make the best choices, but you're feeling inadequate, and you're feeling like it's something more, right? You're feeling like it's something more, and I feel like you've got a hint of it. You've wanted to start a healing journey for yourself, pile number 2. All right, but you may have been made to feel bad about it by the social group or surroundings that you are, around. All right, they may have made you feel bad for wanting to dive into whatever type of spiritual healing path you're trying to take, right? And so you may question it. You may question that path. But Spirit is saying that is the path for you, and it's time to go deeper. Because if you feel just a spark or a little sense of uh, there's so much potential from it, or a little bit of a joy, like you just feel a little bit of lightness, just now, they're saying that that's just the beginning. There's um more. I'm getting the rabbit hole. There's more when you go deeper into the rabbit hole. There's a whole nother world, pile number 2. All right, so now let's see what tarot messages we have for you in regards to this healing journey. So thank you, beautiful, beloved Mother Goddess Isis. Can you please provide for pile number 2 tarot messages in regards to what it is that they need to heal? All right, and you guys have the Queen of Cups. Yes, there's a lot of emotional healing that needs to take place for you guys with this Queen of Cups showing up. There's a lot of emotional healing. I'm also getting to trust your gut instincts, pile number 2. All right. Learn to follow and work with your intuition. All right. But there may be a blockage to that with this Queen of Cups showing up. There may be a blockage due to some emotional patterns that needs to be healed. All right. And you don't have to worry about, throughout your healing journey, who is not healing, right? You can't worry about those people who choose not to be healed. all right, who choose to live in a place of darkness or who chooses to live in their own shadow. All right, Knight of Swords. Look at this. He's moving towards the light, right? And look at the shadow behind him, guys. Look at that shadow behind, and he's moving towards the light. All right. And what I like about the Knight of Swords is that when he says go, he goes, right? So it's just coming to a point of realization for you all. I feel like of just, moving away from those people, places, or circumstances that's no longer serving you and being diligent in doing so. All right. And not feeling bad about doing so. All right. It's like if you guys want to be left behind, you know, living your life the way you live in, not wanting to seek, healing where healing may need to be sought, then that's up to you. But I have different plans, and Spirit has different plans for me. Right. And making that choice to go and find that emotional healing so that you can find peace within yourself, so that you can begin to feel adequate. Okay. And not have that feeling of inadequacy. All right. And you have the Two of Pentacles showing up here. All right. And the Two of Pentacles is all about finding that life balance. All right. And what I'm also getting with this is that you guys are going to find the right balance. You're going to find the right people. You're going to find the right situations and the right circumstances that's going to help you level out the spiritual path that you're trying to take. Right. You're going to find that. All right. It's going to bring you peace and serenity is what I'm getting. It's going to help you to bring your life back into balance, help you to bring your life back into focus. All right. Let's see what else we have. Yeah, they're saying that this is the time to choose you. Pal number 2. This is the time to choose you. All right. Let the healing begin. Let the healing begin. Find your own rhythm. All right. Learn to now walk to or march to the beat of your own drum. Okay. No longer having to live in other people's shadows. All right. Look at the Knight of Swords. He's moving away. That shadow is behind him. All right. And look at this. We have Justice, guys. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Showing up at the end. Showing up at the end. And then you also have the Two of Pentacles, which is also a card of balance and justice, right? And there's the Libra scale there on the Justice card with it showing balance. All right. So this is things coming in. I don't know if you'll be able to see really in this card, but she has like a bow and an arrow, right? So it's like she's put up the fight. Okay, wherever she was coming from that led her to this beautiful Libra scale here, she had to fight her way down that path, right? But it's like, look, she finally made it. She finally made it, and this is justice being served for her putting in the fight and for her doing her due diligence to go towards the light, right? Going towards a place of finding peace and happiness and no longer, living that shadow life, not just by yourself, but with others or the people who's trying to keep you there. Who benefited from your brokenness? Who's benefiting from you not being in a healthy, stable place? How is it boosting their ego? How is it, making them feel that much better of a person because you're broken, right? So Spirit is saying, don't stop putting up the fight. All right, because you're going to get there. You're going to get there. So whatever peace you're seeking, whatever tranquility you're seeking, Spirit is saying, yes, keep going. Keep going. Don't allow others to deter you away from this path. All right. And so lastly, I have an angelic activation message for you all, and that's going to be to help you to not only resonate with the messages from this reading, but to also help activate your own light language so that you're able to connect with not just this, but in your day-to-day life, you open yourself up to receive light language transmissions from your spirit team and whatever messages they have for you, whatever breadcrumbs they have for you as you try to move forward in this healing journey and process. All right. And so this is the image that you all have. All right. And the message is Gabriel, heal the child within. Yes, look at this. What a connection. You have the heal the inner child, and then you get Archangel Gabriel would heal the child within. All right. And it says there are parts of yourself you had to abandon in your early years in order to survive. But now it's essential to reclaim all those parts in order to thrive. The child within you requires some tender love and care at this time. So let them come to the surface and express all that needs to be shared. Hold them with compassion and give them radical healing, understanding, and love. Yeah, so that inner child that you tucked away, the pure, sweet, innocent side of self that you probably tucked away because of, your living situations or living environments, that sweet innocence, they want you to pull it back out. Emotional healing. All right. They want you to pull it back out. They want you to address, that part of your inner child that you may have neglected because I'm getting, you grew up in kind of more so of a tough type of environment, right? So you weren't allowed to really allow that feminine aspect of your inner child to show. Okay. And I even mentioned that in the brother in darkness. So they want you to get more in tune with healing the inner feminine child. All right, the inner feminine aspect of yourself. All right, getting back in tune with your emotions. All right, and so the activation here is I let healing and light reach all parts of myself. All right, look at this light moving towards the light, in healing the inner self and ending up with justice being served. Pal number 2. All right. So those are all of the messages I have for you, pal number 2. Really hope you enjoyed. If so, please be sure to hit the like button as well as to subscribe to the channel. And until next time, my lovelies, take care and bye bye. Hello to those of you who chose pal number 3. So this is your image. All right. And the message is life restored. All right. And it says spiritual resurrection is gifted to you now. Whatever part of you or your life you thought to be dead is being revived and will flourish back into life. Just as the phoenix rises from the fire, transitioning from death into life, so too you will rise again, healed and renewed. Yes, this is a very positive and affirmative message considering the type of reading this is. All right. What is it that you need to heal right now in order to restore your life? Pal number 3. And with the life restored coming up, that is just like saying that there is a guarantee that when you heal this thing that needs to be healed, pal number 3, life will be restored for you. Okay. You will be the phoenix rising. You would have triumphed over all obstacles that were in place to not hold you back, but to help shape you into the person who you were meant to become. Okay. So as the card says, whatever part of your life that you thought to be dead is being revived. All right. So I'm getting second chance for you, pile number 3. This is a second chance for you. Okay. To make any corrections where they need to be corrected, to make any changes where they need to be changed, and just to be able to move forward with new insight and clarity about yourself and who you are. Okay. So that is the message that is coming through with the life restored. Really beautiful showing up. Like I said, considering that this is a reading based on healing, so that you can become a better version of yourself. All right. So now let's take a look at what oracle messages came up for you. All right. And so you all have needing to address fear of being perceived. All right. And the words are really tiny, so I have to pull it back so I can read it. And it says, this will show up as anxiety or discomfort around how others view you, often rooted in past experiences of being misunderstood or criticized. It may manifest as self consciousness, avoiding attention, or altering your behavior to fit in, urging you to embrace your true self and release the need for external validation. There's like this common theme that I'm noticing for all pals, and that is the seeking of validation, guys. So, and I do feel like a lot of this has stemmed from like childhood um, traumas, okay? And I do also feel that a lot of this is subconscious. So a lot of you may not even recognize this about yourself. But there is definitely a sense with this needing to address fear of being perceived card that you guys don't like to be the center of attention, right? You don't like to be in the spotlight. And it's not that you fully doubt yourselves. There may be a little bit of that in there, but I feel like it's mostly that you guys doubt, not even doubt, are worried about, just as the card says, what others are going to have to say about you, what others are going to think about you, okay, based on an action that you take or based on something that you do, right? So this may limit you, and I'm not, they're saying not may, this limits you a lot, right? This limits you a lot because you shy away from or back away from doing things that you would want to do, all for the fear of how you feel like you may be perceived by someone else. All right. So you limit yourself a lot, is what they're saying. And so this is what needs to be addressed, because you haven't allowed yourself to live up to your fullest potential. All right. And this is why Life Restored is here. It is time for you to restore life for yourself. All right. You have something to offer, is what I'm getting. You have something to offer, but you back away from the challenge. All right, you back away from the challenge, is what I'm getting. And like I say, there's this common theme. All right, so this is the last pile that I'm reading for, but there's this common theme that I'm picking up where it has to do with like uh, being judged or criticized in your childhood home, okay, for decisions that you were making or choices that you were making or just things you were doing just overly, or maybe even things you weren't doing, just being around overly criticizing type of people, right? So which always question or always made you question your next move, right? Because you didn't want to be not only in the spotlight, but you didn't want to be put in a bad spotlight, right? So I'm picking up, there's this whole theme about childhood households, right? So for this particular group, it's for whoever it resonates with, just the fear of doing something wrong because of having like over critical or over analyzing type of parents or parental figures, right? Judging you based off your looks, judging you based off your character, judging you just based off their own what's the word that's trying to come to me, their own problems that they have with themselves, insecurities. I couldn't get the word for nothing. Judging you based off of their own insecurities, right? And so this is kind of calls you to, as you can see in this image, he's like hiding behind like this brick wall. as if not wanting to be seen, but he's not fully hiding, right? Part of him looks like he wants to go out there, right? But he's probably scared and nervous too. So that's you. It's not that you're not 100% holding back, because there is going to always be that spark in us. When there's a spark there for us to do more, it's always going to be there to push us forward, right? So you have something in you that's just like, okay, come on, you can do it, you can do it. But then you have that other part of you that's just like, nah, they might judge me, they might say this, so this is what spirit is calling for you to bring to the forefront of your attention. All right, not caring what others think about you. They want you to learn to get into that energy of not caring what others think about you and go for it. All right. And then you have addressing unhealthy coping mechanisms. And just as I stated, in each reading for each pal. So I'm pulling two cards from this particular deck, but I was told to save that these messages from each from this deck, because there's two cards, they won't necessarily tie in with each other. All right, so this fear of being perceived might resonate with someone else, and this coping mechanism might resonate with another person, or they might both tie in together. All right, so spirit wanted me to put that out there, because I do feel like the viewers, there's going to be one that's going to resonate with one person, and there's going to be the other that's going to resonate with another, and then there's going to be some viewers who both of these may tie in with each other. All right, but so I was told to address that. All right, so you have addressing unhealthy coping mechanisms. All right, and the message says this will show up as relying on distractions, substances, or behaviors to avoid facing emotions, pain, or stress. It often stems from a lack of emotional tools or unresolved trauma, leading to temporary relief but long term harm. All right. So, uh, yeah, this one I feel like there is like, okay, so for the other two, I don't know if you were drawn to the other two pals, but there was some connection really between the cards, right, between the two. But I feel like really with this addressing unhealthy coping mechanisms, I feel like this is for a particular um, group of people. Okay, I don't feel the connection between these two like I did in the other two pals, so I'm going to address this one separately. So for whoever this is for, spirit is wanting you to pay attention to the different behaviors that you engage or you engulf in, to kind of as a cover up. All right, is what they're saying. Because as the card also mentions, it's only going to be a temporary relief. It's nothing permanent. It's not going to give you the true healing that you need. All right. So, whatever it is that needs to be, this is the time to acknowledge that whatever it is that you've kind of tucked away or that you have put to the side, so as to not, acknowledge, but you use different tools to kind of ease over it. This is the time for you to address what those things are. All right. Because the coping mechanisms are only temporary fixes. All right. And this is things that right? They're only temporary fixes. They won't give you the permanent fix that you need or the permanent healing that you need. It won't give you the proper closure. All right. Is what I'm getting. And so, in order for you to have your life restored, you need to address those coping mechanisms in your life. First of all, address them, and then secondly, address why they are there. All right. And like I say, this was for this one. I don't feel like it was for everyone. I didn't really feel the connection between the two like I did for the other two readings. All right. But let's see what else we have. All right. And we guys have contracts. All right. With this contract showing up here, all right, and the lock being on it, I do feel like you guys have come here to break. I'm getting to break family karmas, family karmic ties, and you may want to check out my karmic debt reading. I did it last week, so before this reading. Um, so the situations that you're in right now, they have been put in place. Okay, they have been put in place for you to help break. I'm getting family ties, family karmic debt ties. Okay, so even with this coping mechanism here, I'm getting that some of you came to break the cycle of, let's just say, a family who indulges in different type of unhealthy coping mechanisms, whether that's through drinking, whether that's through substance abuse, whatever that is. Some of you may come from a family line of that, right? And so you're going to be the person um, who breaks this cycle in your family. All right. And or it could be it could be, any other type of unhealthy behavior that is known to stem like within your family lineage. All right. um Running from the problem rather than addressing it. All right, so some of you may come from a family where they run from the problem and they don't address it, right? They rather just tuck it and bury it away, but that causes them to engage in different unhealthy and coping mechanisms in order to, so to say, quote unquote, forget about it. But it never goes away. It just keeps trickling down the family line, right? And so some of you came down here with the soul contract to break this family cycle. All right. I feel like this is really closely tied to this coping mechanism more than it is for the fear of being perceived. Yeah, so you are meant to restore life and balance in your family line. Pile number 3 is what I'm getting. You are meant to restore life in your family line. All right. You came down here with the soul contract to do that. All right. To break the cycle of whatever this coping mechanism could be, whether it's substance abuse, alcohol, or just negative thinking behaviors or patterns. You are the person who's going to break that cycle because you're going to address the root cause of it. So you're not meant, you may have started off, following in the footsteps of the family, but you're meant to break free from that. All right. You're meant to break free from that and be the person or the one to address it. All right. What everyone else was willing to push under the rug. All right. And you guys have explore feelings. Yes. What did I just say? You are meant to be the one to address it. All right. Bring it to the surface. And it says, delve into insecurities and unresolved emotions. All right. And it says authentic closure and peace. Yes, this is just what I was saying. The coping mechanisms is not going to give you closure. All right. So you're going to be the one to think outside the box. Pound number 3. You're going to be the one who realizes that there's change that's needed. And maybe not just for yourself, but for your family line. Maybe you see those repeated patterns. All right. Maybe you see those repeated patterns. And so the connection that I'm getting now with the fear of being perceived is, like I was mentioning earlier, some of you may have grew up in these households where there was a lot of partake in different type of unhealthy mechanisms. And so in order to get away or stay away from the drama, you kind of just like always kept yourself closed out, right? Closed out because you didn't want to be a part of that drama, right? And so that kind of stemmed over or leaked over into your adulthood, where you kind of do the same thing. You kind of you try to stay out the way because you don't want the drama, right? You don't want the problems. You don't want people to perceive you a certain way. Maybe you were someone who, let's just say, was in a household where with someone who drank, and when they got drunk, they were maybe even, verbally or mentally abusive, right? And so you kind of you stayed out the way because you didn't want to be that person in the spotlight at that time, right? So you kind of stayed out the way, and so you've kind of created that pattern for yourself of staying out the way, right? Not drawing attention to yourself. Regardless if you have something good to offer, it's like you don't want that spotlight on yourself, and it's stemming from a childhood trauma, right? And so then with this explore feelings card coming up, they want you to really dive deep into those emotions. All right, those inner childhood emotions about how you feel about yourself. All right, how did those situations make you feel? How did they shape you into who you are now? And I am actually going to be doing a heal your inner child reading in the next couple of weeks. So that may be something you want to tune into, because I'll dive a little bit deeper into like the inner childhood areas that needs to be addressed. Okay. But for you right now, it's all about exploring those feelings. Okay. Your inner feelings about how you were made to feel back then and how it is showing up in your life now. All right. Because with this contracts here, pile number 3, I'm really picking up strongly that you are the person who is meant to break the cycle. You have you made a contract to come down here to break the cycle. Okay. Let's see what else we have. And you have ride the storm. And it says, let chaos and turbulence cleanse your spirit. Purge, purify, refine. Yes, ride the storm. All right. Ride the storm, pile number 3. All right. And when you explore the feelings and you address like those feelings, those pent up, bottled up feelings, even though it may be chaotic and, a lot to deal with, it's also a sense of release. All right. It allows for you to purge. It allows for you to purify. It allows for you to refine and reshape your feelings. All right. So this is ride the storm, is you addressing those moments, or those memories, I should say, that you tucked away, right? Addressing them in the same theme, like I'm getting, like I got in pile number 2, um, acknowledging that those things or those situations or those whatever problems, they were not your fault. All right, I'm getting that also for this pile. The spirit wants that to be known. All right, but you do that. I feel like you're going to be more accepting when you give yourself that closure that it was not your fault. All right. So let those surf. I'm thinking about surfboard, and then I get surface. Let those feelings come to the surface. All right. Because this healing journey is not just for you to have your life restored, but for your family line to have their life restored as well. Okay. It's what I'm getting. All right. And it says, don't allow loneliness to make you reconnect with toxic people. All right. We don't drink poison just because we're thirsty. All right. So coping mechanisms, right? Don't turn to toxicity or things that we know that's not good, or that it's not good for you, just because you want to feel a sense of fitting in. All right. It's what I'm getting with that. And then you guys have no need to cut anyone off, just grow. And they'll fall off all on their own. Beautiful. So this is you don't have to, I'm getting, you don't have to be unkind. But you don't have to be, growing doesn't mean being mean. Growing doesn't mean to be making yourself feel like, you're better than someone. Growing just means just what it says. You grow and you move forward. All right. And what's meant to be with you throughout that growth will be, and what's not will fall off. All right. To make way for the next set of people or circumstances or situations that are meant to be there. All right. So just grow. I mean, sometimes a healing journey is a personal journey. Most of the times healing is personal. Right. So you don't have to, worry about how others perceive you trying to heal. It's you trying to heal, no one else. So spirit wants you to go through your healing journey so that you can step out of the shadows into the light and no longer have this fear of being seen. All right. And I'm getting to be a voice. You're meant to be a voice in your for your family lineage, right? The voice and the beacon of change. All right. So now let's see what tarot messages we have for you guys in regards to this healing journey. So thank you, beautiful, beloved Mother Goddess Isis. Can you please guide this reading and show pile number 3 what other messages you have in regards to their healing? Yes, so your spirit team is wanting you to bring closure, all right, to some inner feelings that you tucked away. All right, they want you to bring it to the surface, ride the storm. All right, get it out. They're saying to get it out of your system. All right, to get it out of your system, pile number 3. Because you have to acknowledge why you have become who you are, right? Because I'm getting a sense that you guys don't like being like in the shadows. Like I was saying, in this fear of being perceived, it's like a part of him like wants to go out there, right? Wants to go out there and show himself to the world, but then there's this other part of him that's like scared to do so. And so you need to acknowledge and address why you're scared to do so, right? Those are the feelings that needs to come to the surface so that you can give yourself that closure as to what caused you in your adult state to be in this type of energy, right? And then I even I didn't see it at first because I was too busy looking at the main character of the card, but there's like this lurking image in the background. So like someone's watching him, right? So like the fear of being seen because someone's like always like cast this like, I'm getting like this shadowy type view over you, like just it's not what's the word I'm looking for, like a weird type of like uncomfortable. I can't get my words out today. Like someone always gave you like this uncomfortable presence. There was always this uncomfortable presence around you. It's what I'm getting. All right, and you guys have the 10 of Wands. All right, 10 of Wands is like there's a lot of baggage. There's a lot of baggage, but the journey must continue. All right, the journey must continue. But guess what you do, pile number 3? You learn how to lighten the load. And how do you lighten the load on this journey? You begin to lay down all the unnecessary baggage. You begin to pick it off one by one, one by one. Do you really need all of that with you? Or can you do without it? All right. So 10 of Wands is that it's a long, arduous process and a long journey that has to be done, right? But then it's doing it in a way to where you're realizing what works for you and what doesn't. Exploring those feelings, letting go of that baggage, right? Riding the storm, bringing those things to the surface so that you can get rid of it. All right. What else do we have? The King of Pentacles. All right. Stability. All right. King of Pentacles is someone who's at peace. He's grounded. All right. It's a sense of stability. All right. And this is what you guys can move into. All right. When you explore those feelings and you let go of the unnecessary baggage, this is what you guys can move into, the energy that you can move into. 10 of Swords. Look at this. Another 10, guys. Another 10. So there's definitely some closure that's needed. There's definitely some closure that's needed, guys. And I'm getting to, yeah, you with this King of Pentacles in the middle of these two tens. You guys, I'm getting like a legacy type energy. So you guys are the ones who are going to be meant to, like I said, break the chain, right? Break the karmic debt and begin a new legacy for your family line. All right, through different belief practices, through different approaches, through learning to um, embrace change, number one, and by also acknowledging, learning to acknowledge problems where they are and not tucking them away, not hiding from them, but acknowledging it so that the family line can heal. All right. Is what I'm getting. Because there with the Ten of Swords, I feel like there was a lot of pain because look how she has her back turned. All right. And the swords are behind her. So there was a lot of pain stemming from the past, but because they're behind her, right? And so now it's time for a new chapter. And now it's time to move forward. All right. What else we have? Oh my gosh. And you guys in with the Ten of Pentacles. You guys in with the Ten of Pentacles. And the Ten of Pentacles is also a legacy card, right? Like family, leaving behind the family legacy. So I definitely felt that for you all right? Especially with this King of Pentacles being here in the middle. You are the one who's meant to bring an ending or who's meant to bring change in all of the past family like issues or um, dramas or traumas, right? You are the one to bring it to an end and start a new legacy for the family line. All right, with this Ten of Pentacles here. A lot of hard, this has been a long journey for, I feel like, for the family overall. And you were the one who ended up with the burden, right? Of fixing it. All right. And you are going to be the one who's going to bring that stability and allow for all those hurtful things that were in the family line to be left behind so that you all can create a new healthy, happier legacy. All right. All right, so then lastly, I have an angelic activation message for you all. And this angelic activation message is to help you resonate with the messages that has come from this reading, but to also help for you to activate your own light language, all right, so that you can receive further transmissions, all right, throughout your days, throughout your weeks, throughout the hours, whatever, so that you can recognize what it is that you need to heal about yourself to receive messages from spirit when they're trying to relay them to you. All right. And so this is the image that you all have. And the message is Jophiel, weed your thoughts. All right. And it says, your mind is like a garden, a space that requires time and attention. Take the time to weed out the thoughts and feelings you know are spoiling the beauty. Release from your mental space the recurrent stories that you are telling yourself, especially those that are hooked into the energy of fear. Instead, think about what you desire, remember what lights you up, and enjoy the blessings that are in your life. Let flowers bloom from your loving thoughts. Activation is My thoughts are seeds that blossom. All right. Explore your feelings. All right. Work from a place within. All right. And that's your image. All right. So, pal number 3, that is your reading. Really hope you enjoyed. If so, please be sure to hit the like button as well as to subscribe to the channel. And until next time, my lovelies, take care and bye bye.